Hey friends, it's me again, Timber Robin, and today we are going to be looking at a couple of items that are non-electronic but equally important in getting that perfect voiceover sound. Cool guys, so in the previous video we looked at 5 components that are essential for you to get started in voiceover, and we looked at the setups, but I did leave out a couple of little items that aren't necessarily electronic but are equally important in achieving that good voiceover sound when you're starting out. So I thought I'd just make a quick insert video. It's not going to be too long. We'll look at these items very quickly and then you know what to look out for. Cool, so we're going to start at the beginning. Let me pop that down here. This I'm just touching on quickly because this is going to deserve a whole episode on its own. These are acoustic panels. So acoustic panels are what we use to deaden the sound in a room. Basically, you don't want any flat surfaces in a room. So if you're at home now and you're thinking about which room to record in, any room that's got lots of couches, carpets, curtains, that sort of thing, anything that will absorb the sound is pretty good. At some stage, you're going to want to start getting a few acoustic panels just to sort out those little problem areas as you find them. These are great. They're a little bit pricey though, so maybe for something further down the line, but we will do a whole episode on acoustic treatment and how to manage your room. The next point, these little bad boys. So this, ladies and gentlemen, you would have seen in front of nearly every microphone in a voiceover studio, usually parked like that or like that. This is known as a pop filter. So a pop filter parks in front of the microphone like that, and it is very beneficial for a number of reasons. The most obvious reasons are to get rid of plosives and sibilants. So sibilants is all the high-end sounds that we produce with our mouth. So if you say a snake, that long S sound can be a bit piercing when you hear it on the ear, so you really don't want that to play through. But equally as important, you don't want plosives to play through. So when we're talking in everyday life, air is coming out of our mouths. And when we're recording in studio, we are talking and air comes out of our mouths, but most of the time it's not a lot of air, or it's not enough air to cause any disruption on our recordings. But when it comes to plosives, which is like B's and P's, we blow so much air that sometimes that air can hit the diaphragm and cause our microphone to spike. And once your audio has spiked, it's almost unusable. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you what a plosive looks like. So if we say, please call the police, please call the police, you can see how this tissue paper is behaving. Now imagine all that air hitting the diaphragm in your microphone. Please call the police. What we do now is we use our windscreen, well, it's otherwise known as a windscreen. We use our pop filter, and I'm going to put the pop filter between myself and the tissue paper, and let's see what the difference is. Please call the police. Please call the police. I'm not even that far away from the tissue paper, and it's please call the police, and it's not moving at all. As soon as I drop the pop filter, even pop filter, even if I say it slowly or lightly, pop filter, it still moves quite a lot. So that is the use of the pop filter. It basically cuts that plosive all the way. As a secondary demonstration for you guys, I'm going to do a little recording here. We'll pop it up on the screen. Here we go. We have the microphone set up, but I don't have a pop filter in front of it. So I'm going to do the age-old Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper rhyme, and we're going to see how it sounds without a pop filter, and then we'll do it again and see how it sounds with the pop filter on. So let's give it our first go, play it back. This is the direct audio from Audacity. I haven't treated it or anything. This is just for you to hear.
Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper. The pick of pickled pepper Peter Piper picked was very picky.
Alright, so you can hear there's a lot of distortion there, and each of the P's you can hear how it's eroded. It's really terrible, and there's not a lot that you can do to fix that in post-production. So that audio take is pretty much lost. And you could lose an entire read just because 2 or 3 plosives have blown it out of the water. Let's do the same thing again with the pop filter in front now.
Peter Piper picked a pick of pickled pepper. The pick of pickled pepper that Peter Piper picked was very picky.
See, if you can hear that now, it is a lot smoother. You don't hear those P's as prominently anymore. You actually don't even notice them. It just sounds like a normal sentence. Everything sounds balanced, and that is the benefit of having a pop filter. So these guys aren't really too expensive. I think they're about 180, 200 bucks, but they will save your life when it comes to recordings. Practice with it and see the difference for yourself, because it really is a lifesaver. On to our last thing now. So we're going to talk stands, mic stands. So a big no-no. And you've never seen a voice artist recording vocals with a microphone in their hand. We do not handle the microphone when we're recording. This sort of thing is for rappers and singers and that sort of thing. So what you want to make sure that you have is a nice stand. So a lot of microphones will come with this cradle that houses the microphone, but you want to make sure that you've got a nice stand for the microphone to stand on. That way you can be hands off and you don't have to fiddle with it. This one is a nice desktop mount. I quite enjoy it. So the problem comes in when you're in studio and you're trying to keep a good posture, because obviously we know the best sound comes out when your back is straight. You don't want to be hunched over like this. You're squashing your lungs and you're not going to get the best sound out. So if your back is straight, now the microphone is down here, I don't have a lot of play to rise it up, so I can maybe stack a couple of boxes underneath here to get the microphone to the right height, but seems like extra work, doesn't it? This little bad boy on my left hand side, this is one of my favorites. This is a boom arm and it is just so useful. These things can do whatever you need. They can take the microphone to wherever you need it. So your boom arm goes like this. You can attach your microphone to the end. These little cradles can take anyone. So I can take this cradle over here and I'll just, well, this is actually called a shock mount. I can take this shock mount and put it on here, or put this shock mount on there, so it's interchangeable. But the beauty of it is that it can move all over. So if I want to do a standing up recording, the boom arm can take this microphone, look at this, it's out of shot. It can take it to wherever I need it. And even if I'm here, I want to do a quick recording like this, it works perfectly. And then when I'm done, and this is what I find is, well, the printer just decided to do its thing. When it's packed up like this, I find it's very useful, especially in my studio where I need to have my microphones quite handy. I don't want to be doing rigs all the time, but I also hate a mess on my desk. These are great because the boom arm just stacks up like that. If I'm trying to work here after I've recorded, I'm trying to do some post-production, I can just swing that out like that. It's out of my way and I can carry on with my workspace, which is quite handy, and I really enjoy that about the boom arm. You can get these boom arms for about 380 bucks, 400 bucks. I've had these for a year now, and at that price point they are starting to feel a little bit loose in some places and a little bit pernickety, but for 300 bucks, a year's worth of use just about every single day, I can't really complain. We've been talking about stands and I forgot one. So here we have the age-old, tried and tested. This is the stage mic stand. So this is what it looks like. It's this bad boy here. It's a little bit hard to get the whole thing in the shot. These are also really good for voiceover because they can get the microphone to where you need it. They do take up quite a bit of floor space because the 3-prong bass needs to spread out a little bit. So if you're tucked into a tiny space, or if space is a bit of an issue, it might not be the best first choice, but it does work really well. So as we said, the shock mounts can go from one stand to the next. So as you can see here, we'll just twist that on there. So there you have it. There is another stand possibility. If you have one of these lying around, you can also pick them up second hand. It's not as fluid as the boom arm, but I do think it is a good one to get started with. If you have nothing else at home, then yes, definitely. Cool. So that's the bundle for that today. Our next episode, we're going to be looking at buying microphones. So what to look at when you're trying to find a microphone for yourself. But other than that, I'm done here. So you guys have yourself a lovely rest of your week. I will see you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. But once again, my name is Timber Robin and it has been a pleasure voicing with you.